you should have received a welcome email. You're going to want to open up that email, and if you scroll down, you're going to see there's an option to install the Windows desktop app. So click on that app and install it. We're going to accept the terms, hit next, next, install. And we're going to launch the 3CX client for Windows. The 3CX client is what we use to receive telephone calls, to call other employees, and to call our customers. So I'm just going to start by showing you the basics here. To make a call, you're going to click the keypad over here in the top right. And from here you can dial a telephone number. In the US we're going to do the area code first, 3 digits, followed by the 7-digit phone number. I'm going to call my cell phone right now for a test. After entering the number, I'm going to hit call, and you're going to hear that my phone starts to ring. I just answered the call and I'm going to end it. Okay, you could also go down here to our presence information, which is going to show a list of other employees that are logged into the system. I have a test account over here, which I'm going to double click, and that's going to call that extension directly. So this is extension number 105, and to call it, all I'm going to do is double click. And as you can hear, the phone on the desk over there is ringing. There's no one answered, so I'm going to end that call. We could do the same thing if we wanted to call any of the other people here on the list. Just double click it and their phone's going to ring. Okay, I'm going to show you some more basic features here. I'm going to call my cell phone again so we can go through putting a call on hold. Again, all I did was go to the keypad, dial the number, hit call. Gonna answer the phone call. Now I have the call active. I'm going to press hold, and now the call's on hold. I'm going to put this speakerphone on so you can hear it. As you can hear, the phone is hearing the on hold message, which is some music that's playing in the background. Okay. Now, this same call, when we have it on hold, can be transferred. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how to resume the call. So let's say you put the call on hold for a couple of seconds because you wanted to check with another technician or get some information. And now you want to talk to the customer again and you want to pick up this call, you're going to hit resume. So now I'm back online with the call, and they can hear me. But let's say that this particular call you want to transfer to someone else. So the way we want to do that is first put the call on hold, hit transfer, and then we can dial an external number to transfer it to. So if I wanted to transfer it to my cell phone, I would just dial the cell phone number again. Or we could transfer it to another extension. So if I wanted to transfer it to the test account, which I'm going to do for this demo, I'm going to double click on the test account, and now the call is being transferred to the test account. If the test account were to pick up the phone, they would be on the call now with my cell phone, which we called originally. So I'm going to end this call. That's it for the transfer. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to do a conference call. So what you're going to want to do is get the first person on the call, or it's possible that the first person called you. It would work the same either way. But since nobody's calling me right now, I'm gonna get the first call going. All right, now I have the first caller on the phone. I want to set up a conference call with the extension 105 right now, our test extension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit conference, and then I'm going to call the next line. So let's say the next line was 105. You could also do an external number, but in this case we're going to do 105. I'm going to click on 105, press the arrow over here, and you can see that it has the first two calls connected, and it's trying to join the third call. I just answered extension 105, and now you can see all three callers are connected. I'm going to hang up the conference call by clicking end conference over here. You could also end individual callers. So if two callers wanted to continue the call, you don't have to disconnect everyone, but in this case we're going to end the conference call. So that's how you do a conference call. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to call the first guest in the conference call, or maybe they called you and you want to add someone to the call. Once you have them on the phone, you're going to hit the conference button, and then you're going to add the second caller and join them to the conference call. Next, we're going to talk about the status. So over here in the 3CX app, we have our status. Right now, mine is set to available. But if you were on your lunch break, you could set that to lunch. Or if you were away from the desk, you could set it to away. Or if you're working on another issue and you can't be interrupted with a phone call, you can hit do not disturb. So here you have various statuses. Obviously, if you're not working on any other issues and you're receiving phone calls as a part of any queue, the tech support queue or any other queue, you want to make sure that you are set to available. If we go over here to presence information, we could also see the status of other users on the team. So over here we have 4 people logged in. JP right now is set to away. Okay, so that's your status, and that's how you switch your status. Next, we're going to talk about call history. If you look over here in the bottom, you have a button that says call history. If you click on that, you're going to see any calls you may have answered or calls you may have missed. If you want to call someone back, you can just hit double click on their information and
record your message and press pound or
earlier
press star to contact the operator.
Saw that Julius's status was set to away, so right now this call is going to go straight to his voicemail. I'm going to end the call. All right, next we're going to talk about checking voicemails. So down here we have another option for voicemail. If you want to listen to a voicemail, you're just going to double click on it, hit play. The file is going to download. You can press save, and the file will open and begin to play. That's how you're going to play a voicemail message. The last item we're going to talk about in the Windows app is chat. Over here you have the chat feature. You can start a new chat with other people on the team from here, and any existing chats you can also see are available here. We are primarily using Google Chat for communication, so this isn't going to be the primary means of chatting, but we will be using this application for SMS communication with customers. So that is one place where the chat feature becomes important. Now, sending SMS messages is going to be done from the web client, since that's everything I wanted to discuss regarding the Windows client, we're going to move over now to the web client. So I'm going to minimize this, and you can see, even if I close this, you can see that the app is still open, and you can get it back on the screen over here. Well, one other thing I could show you regarding the Windows app is there is a queue manager. You could get to that by clicking over here and going to queue manager. And from here you can see who's logged into the tech support queue. So this is a little bit different than the status. You can see even though somebody is logged in, even though there can be in the available status, it's also possible to have them logged out of the tech support queue. So just because someone is available doesn't mean they're in the tech support queue. So I'm going to show you how that would work. So right now my status is set to available, and I'm logged into the tech support queue. You have the tech support queue tab selected right here. But if I wanted to log out of the tech support queue, I could hit this queue here. So anybody who's in the help desk should and is available should always be logged into the tech support queue. So you want to make sure that this queue is highlighted and it's not grayed out. When it's grayed out, that means you're not logged into the queue, and calls that are coming in will not ring on your phone. So you always want to make sure that when you're available and taking tech support queues, you have a highlighted queue on the top right there. I'm going to close the Windows app again. We're going to jump over to the web client. Here is the web client. This is the login information. You're going to want to put your extension number here, and you're going to enter your password. Primarily, we're going to be using the client for SMS messages. You can do all the other features that the Windows app had also, but I'm going to show you the SMS features first, and especially since you cannot SMS from the Windows app. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to chat, we're going to hit the plus sign on the bottom, and we're going to choose SMS, which is the first icon. You can then type a phone number from here. Press start chat. See, we got a message here that it wants us to put a +1. So we're going to put our plus, the US code 1, then our 3-digit area code, and the phone number. This happens to also be the office telephone number. And we're just going to put a message here. I hit send, and the test message right now was sent by SMS to our office number. So if there's a customer that you want to communicate with by text message and you want to initiate the communication, you can do it here from the web client. You're going to go to chat, hit the plus sign, choose the SMS icon, enter their phone number, and then hit start chat, which will allow you to send them a text message just like we did here. For customers that initiate a text message with us, those will show up in the Windows app and here in the web client, but they will also show up here in the chat section. So if someone sends us a text message, you're going to see it here also. And you'll also see the messages that were initiated on the web. Unfortunately, you cannot start a SMS message from this Windows app. You have to start it from the web browser. So that's why we're going through the web client. One of the things you're going to want to do is install the browser extension if you are using Chrome. So if you're using Chrome, we can hit install 3CX browser extension. I'm going to add it right now to Chrome. Okay, I just added the extension. And then we're going to click to activate it. And you're going to get a screen over here which will give you a lot of the features that we just went over on the Windows client. So this is a cool way also to use the system through your browser. If you hit chat, it's going to open up the chat screen. If you hit status, you'll see everyone's status. Contacts will take you to contacts. Okay, so now that you're familiar with the web browser, I also want to show you how you can make calls directly from the browser. So let's say we were searching for a customer. In this case, I have here one of our customers' web pages or Google results open. You can see there's an option here for call. When I click on call, we have the option to call using the 3CX phone for Windows. So if I click on that, my 3CX Windows app is automatically going to launch and start the call. So that's a nice way to quickly make a phone call, so you don't have to dial or copy and paste even. You can just click call. Similarly, if you were going to re-log into our Fresh Desk app, which everyone from tech support will be familiar with, you could also call from within the web browser. So I'm going to go to contacts. It just so happens I have Unix here, so that's fine. I'll click on Unix and I'll press call. And again, we're going to call from 3CX. So that's
Thank
a
you
quick
for
way
calling
to
Unix
make a phone call
CCTV.
through the
Our
browser.
offices are currently closed right now.
Thank you for calling Structured Progress LLC. If you know your party's extension, you can enter it at any time. For sales, press 1. For tech support, press 2. For accounts payable or receivables, press 3. All other callers can press 0 for an operator.
I'm going to press 2, so we get into the tech support queue. As you can see, the phone is ringing now for tech support. Okay, I'm going to end the call. The first thing the message said was, if you know your party's extension, you could enter it at any time. So if your extension happened to be 105, someone could dial 105 and it would ring directly to your extension. So if you need someone to communicate with you directly, you can give them your extension number, and when they call the main line, all they have to do is enter your extension number and it's going to ring to your phone. I pressed 2 for tech support, so the call started ringing to the tech support line, and it will ring in order from the first person in the tech support queue up until the last person in the tech support queue, and it'll keep rotating until someone answers the call. Outside of normal business hours, the caller will get a message that they've reached us outside of business hours, and they'll have the option to leave a voicemail message. So that completes the tutorial for the 3CX telephone system.